this is quite a significant point because people are still measuring clicks. And if you're reporting clicks to your client, oh, we got X number of clicks, X and Y number of impressions, you may, and you're optimizing for clicks. If you're optimizing for clicks, you may be driving down the number of visitors to your business location.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a profound statement, it seems to me. How many people have really sophisticated attribution models that they're working with today that you would honestly consider to be pretty sophisticated? Raise your hand high if you're proud. Okay. So one guy, anybody else? Who's got a really weak attribution kind of modeling systems? Okay, some honest people in the room. Okay, target. All right, bravo. So one of the things that we talk. What's that?
The question is, how many people have a sophisticated modeling measurement system without mobile in it? Raise your hand if you can measure without mobile. Like forget mobile doesn't exist. Can you measure your stuff in a sophisticated way without mobile? Yes? No?
You have to spend a lot of money.
I see medium hands. With mobile? Okay.
One guy.
Less.
Okay. So that's where we're going now. So one of the things that we talked about is not only mobile as a channel in and of itself and a really powerful medium, but as a tool to measure other media, as a tool to do media planning. Can you guys talk at all about that? How you're using mobile as a way to understand consumer behavior and usage of other media, or to provide sort of transparency and accountability to other media? Can you give us any examples of that?
We were talking about this earlier. Not necessarily the accountability, but for some clients that don't have like the really big budgets out there and want to own true movements that are happening, one of the ways to really do that effectively is the power of mobile. So not being able to own a Super Bowl ad doesn't really matter anymore because you can still own that Super Bowl moment. You can own the living room. You can own different parts of it. So, I mean, that is one of the ways that's hugely affecting how we're looking at mobile and those historically television-only moments.
One that comes to my mind, we have a client called Dea. I'm from Boulder, so it's a gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free product. It's pizza. It actually tastes really good, believe it or not. But anyway, we did a market heavy up in Portland and Denver, and we used mobile, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit earlier, as the glue that kind of held everything together. So we did outdoor to drive people into the store. We had in-store, and we used mobile as the final piece of the circle to make sure that people were engaging with the brand, potentially downloading a coupon, pulling a recipe, and understanding what Dea has to offer, but it was all done in and around the store and within the store, and then the final kind of purchase. So it was something that was really, really successful. We saw huge lifts at the same time that the campaign kind of launched. We saw huge lifts from a mobile standpoint as far as foot traffic into the store and ultimately sales, which was a huge success.
Have you guys done anything or seen anything with your clients in terms of mobile as a tool to measure other media or to gain insight into future media or budget allocation?
Yeah, absolutely. I think from both a planning or a measurement tool, one of the things that what I find was fascinating about mobile as the glue, I think that's often overlooked. I love that term because I think that half the power of mobile is in exactly that. Is mobile is getting more integrated into other media channels through ways that you can use all these different data signals to correlate everything. It can be used in a lot of interesting ways. So as an example, we looked for a client running a college back-to-school campaign this past fall. They wanted to understand where college students congregate off campus, where they're in certain regions, where the college students go the most. And by being able to model that by looking at real-world behaviors, they were able to use that data to basically prioritize and place their out-of-home media buys. So mobile not as a media channel in that sense, but mobile informing how to really optimize an offline media channel. And then conversely, when you think about it from a measurement perspective, just ran a campaign over the holidays for a big movie launch, and what they were doing is they wanted to be able to measure exposure to that TV commercial. So being able to look at people that are exposed to a commercial for this movie launch, and did that subsequently drive increased foot traffic into the theaters around launch weekend? So again, you're not using mobile necessarily as the media channel, but it does provide that connection point. When you can integrate these data sets, you can begin to measure things that are considered offline or even non-digital, and inform how to place media buys across those channels as well.
Is anybody in the audience doing anything like this, using mobile to measure other media, or to do it as part of their media planning? No one at all? Good silence. So I want to open it up for questions. We've got a little bit of time left. We can keep going, but I want to see if people want to ask the panel questions about mobile metrics or measurement or KPIs. Not me, low blood sugar? No, over here. Aaron, should I go over there? Or is there? I'll go over there.
While he's walking, just on that last topic, I think what's interesting is that we're talking about how mobile can complement your offline and above-line activity, and what we've seen from our clients who tend to be more mobile-centric and mobile-forward, where they're seeing mobile actually being business-critical and for driving revenue, is that they're seeing mobile as the primary channel for driving revenue and looking to offline mediums to impact their mobile bottom line. Because an example is eBay, who have seen now over 30% of their overall transactions coming from mobile, right? And that shift is just continuing to happen. So they're interested in how to use TV, and the mobile game companies know this really well, some of which are our clients. We need to drive people, we need to pour fuel on the fire, which is mobile, the mobile channel. So how do we actually use TV to influence and drive purchase intent, purchase value on mobile? And it's been a tried and true tactic now that a lot of these kind of mobile-first companies are doing, where they do see a correlation to the TV schedule, your mobile lifts in sales and revenue. And we've done some unique things where we're uploading actually our TV buys to buy mobile programmatically to align perfectly with that. So, we have kind of, limited waste on that front.
I also think that gives you the opportunity for a creative solution as well, where you can storytell across all the different media and not have to worry about the mobile banner. It's more about the message that you're putting out there in correlation with all the other stuff.
Okay, question over here.
Hi, I'm Matt John from Skyhook. I have a question about, we were talking about attributions, but what about insights post-campaign and reviewing those insights rather than having this massive attribution system that doesn't seem like anyone has, but reviewing it campaigns post result.
Did you understand the question?
Yes. So, like I mentioned, I think we've had access to the right data now because of standardizations around in-app tracking and measurement through the likes of Tune and AdX and Coachella, who in 2011 really were a catalyst to our business and being able to measure in-app activity. I think. Sorry, what was the question?
Post-campaign.
Insights. Okay, yes. And so getting access to that data has allowed us to do some interesting things around analysis with time series analysis. And so one insight that we got was around 4 to 6 a.m. people are more likely to engage with ads, but less likely to engage in-app. And then 4 to 7 p.m. the prime time hour, people are less likely to engage with ads promoting apps, but more likely to engage in-app. And so that has, tons of kind of insights and applications for how you message people, how you drive people to the app during prime time hours, commuting hour strategies. There's a lot to do.
Little do you know, Tim was out till 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, one more question, then we got to wrap up.
One more question from the audience.
Over here on the stage left.
Stage left, I'm coming.
Audience right.
Good
Start
catch.
shouting.
I like that. Hold on. Hold on, slow down. I'm coming. Relax. Easy. No one's going anywhere. That's all right. Make it away. Yeah, introduce yourself.
My name is John Gomez, and I'd like to ask a question around your data sets. A lot of attribution model being, attributed toward the first party side.
So David or Samantha.
Oh, I'll take it. Pass it. So if you think of it from so when you think about first-party data, when you think of, what a brand has in their DMP, for example, right? It's a lot of digital behaviors. You have your CRM data, you have your website data, maybe you have social data, search data, all being combined. But I think one of the things that's missing out of that is the idea of, physical behaviors. And you really don't have access to understanding that easily through kind of first-party data sets, right? And if you think about how you go about your daily life, the physical world is where you spend most of your time. So it's been a big blind spot for brands. So from a DMP perspective, being able to take that kind of understanding and data set and blend that into complement those other existing data sets is very, very powerful. It, for the first time, starts to give brands a true understanding of their customer, not only in terms of what they're doing in a blind spot, but it also can be a way to also incorporate a lot of competitive insights. So what is my customer doing when they're not my customer? And I think all of that is what's really beginning to shift and change, and you are going to see a big opportunity around all those data sets coming together.
Okay, so final, can I give the chance to say final?
Go ahead, yes.
Okay, thanks. I'm very time sensitive.
I like that, thank you.
Trying to be respectful of everyone's time. So we just basically scratched the surface. I mean, there's a lot more depth that we could have explored in each of these areas, but this is kind of a survey of mobile metrics and the future of mobile measurement. And I'd like each of you real quickly to make a final comment, something you didn't get to say in or, but very short, Twitter style. What do you think are going to be the key metrics that we'll be looking at? We're doing this panel 3 years from now. What are the key things that we're now measuring in mobile? So, David, why don't you start in detail?
So I'll start with what we started talking about, sort of the second half of the conversation. I think the key, what we're going to start seeing this year, and really what's going to be the big driver going forward is omni-channel measurement. Mobile's becoming integrated into all these other media channels, and we're going to be thinking not just about what's the metric for mobile, but what's the metric across that purchase cycle. What are the ways that I measure effectively how one channel can light up another and make everything very complementary. And that's going to create entirely new metrics that we haven't tapped into yet, but we're going to start seeing this year, and I think that's going to be the big focus and evolution of mobile for the next 24 months.
I'm going to say solving the mobile measurement mystery is still a mystery. Hashtag solving mysteries.
I would agree with omni-channel. Just attribution across screens, I think, is on the top of every marketer's mind. And I think today there's a few enclosed systems like Facebook, Twitter, and things that rely on registration data, like Pandora, for example, that can start to put the pieces together. But there's not really a pervasive third-party solution that actually ties everything together. Atlas is supposedly coming out with some things, but I think that and a pervasive third-party ad server for mobile that is ubiquitous and can be leveraged across the board. I think again, the impression is not going to die, and we really need to understand from the very outset how users are engaging with your brand all the way down to the funnel. And today there are a few solutions, but I think are a bit limited in terms of its ability to play across channels and scope.
Kelly, you get the final word.
Oh boy. When talking about creating standards in mobile, I think one of the standards that should come out of this is engagement. It's just so loose and all over the place, and everyone has their own opinion of what engagement means, and I think that's going to shake out, or at least to some extent. And I agree 100% with everything that we're talking about attribution-wise, and I'm really interested to see Dometry is owned by Google now, and they're coming out with their own solution for mobile attribution. Very curious to see what happens there.
Okay, time for applause. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.